Dramatic promises may draw attention, but it's working hard to help your customers succeed that builds respect. Determination is shown by the lines on your face, the promises you keep, and the calluses on your hands. See more at Dicor.com.
Hello, Sherman Goldenberg here, publisher, RV Business, RVBusiness.com at Ivy Tech Community College. We're here today in late January because of a new program and an ongoing project that are worthy of review, not only for the industry at large, but for the community in general. And with me today are Julie Foster, president of the Ivy Tech Elkhart County campus. I got that right?
Correct.
Dr. Thomas Coley, I'm going to have to read this, no offense. Chancellor of Ivy Tech Community College North Central and Northwest Regions.
Correct.
Okay. And Greg Four, president of Dicor Corporation, an industry supplier and a genuine booster, as it were, of the educational programs that we're seeing, initiated here at Ivy Tech. We're really here to talk about two things, and pardon me if I refer to notes, but first of all, it's a program that started only this week, and it's a 1 week, 40-hour, very unusual kind of a program. We're calling the RV Production Associate Training Program. Tell me about that, Julie.
Well, we created this program in conjunction with our corporate partners, who are Thor, Patrick Industries, and Lippert Components, to train students in basic entry-level skills that they would need when they come into an RV or a supplier company. So our 1 week program consists of teaching students how to use the basic tools that they would be using, teaching them how to work together as a team, what it means to be employed and come to work every day and be prepared to work. We'll also be doing some plant tours. We'll have some guest speakers come in to talk about both what it means to be an entry-level employee, but what career options there are in the RV industry.
To fill a void of some nature, obviously, in our area. What is that?
Correct. In speaking with the companies, they're having a difficult time attracting enough entry-level workers who are prepared to work and can hit the ground running when they start. So by attracting some students who maybe are interested in these positions but are a little intimidated by a factory environment, if you haven't had a parent or a sibling or someone that you know work in the industry, you might not know what to expect. And this should take away some of that mystery. So you know what you're getting into, you're prepared when you walk in to actually get started on your job.
And it's what they said in the newspapers, a rolling sign-up. In other words, it just goes on for a number of weeks, right?
Correct. This first group of sessions, we're doing 8 one-week sessions, and our first class starts on Monday. So registration has already begun for that Monday class, and we'll keep registering students throughout the program until we get to the end. And at that point, we'll assess to see where we can improve the program, what kinds of things we need to to change in order to make it more effective.
And we should mention before I go to Chancellor Coley that this really that at the end of each session, these students may be preferred applicants for jobs at those companies, correct? Or they may apply for jobs at those companies.
Correct. We've structured the program so that on Friday afternoon they will actually be interviewing with our 3 corporate partners. So all the students that make it through the week and make it through the program will get an interview at the end of the week.
Very nice. Dr. Coley, this is the most recent initiative in this area, but really, if one would go back a bit, there's been a move afoot here to upgrade the programs at Ivy Tech to serve the recreation vehicle industry and the general economy. Has there not since like 2012?
Yes, when I arrived in 2011, 12, we've had conversations in large part, and starting with conversations with individuals like Greg Forrest sitting next to me about how does Ivy Tech match up with what industry needs for not only entry level but advanced skills, and where are the gaps. And so we had a series of conversations, and that led to the idea of what we then called an advanced manufacturing center. And so we started at formulating the kind of programs that would go into that center, and actually through various phases of discussion, we're now at a point where we start with this basic entry-level training that will start next week to begin to introduce the role of Ivy Tech in training for the RV industry, but eventually we'll be talking about how we expand that to other sectors.
You are talking, you plural, are talking about a center for workforce training, a building, a structure, something that you're planning on constructing then here next to this Ivy Tech campus in Elkhart, right?
Yes. Part of the gap is that we do not have what I would consider, and I think in our conversations with employers in the community, the level of training, the type of facility that you would expect for Ivy Tech to have. And so this, in order to fulfill that, we see the center as really filling a critical need for meeting skill gap needs in the community, but also that being able to build that pathway, career pathways from high school to into the workforce, as well as helping companies build the skills of their incumbent workers. So having that facility gives us an opportunity to expand on areas of machine tool technology, automotive robotics, HVAC, welding, which we do not have at this time at this site.
I noticed that in some of my reading, an amazing sentence. It said, there is currently no standalone facility dedicated to advancing the manufacturing profession in north central Indiana, in one of the most manufacturing rich areas in America.
Right. Yeah,
What's with that?
We're trying to change that, of course.
That's what this is all about.
That's what it's all about, is really. And, you know, we really, that's why we're so persistent, because it's so critical to not only what's happening today, and I know things are going very well in the industry, but in terms of how we build for the future and giving opportunities for those who may not have the opportunity to work in, really is becoming a more automated and technical process, but also with the great emphasis on soft skills, as you mentioned, being able to make decisions, communicate, work in teams. We need the kind of training that will accommodate those kinds of demands that's needed in the community.
Before I go to Greg, real quickly, where do we stand in this project? What's the timeline that there may be this center actually finished?
Well, I get asked that, and I'm always a little hesitant to be pinned down because we've had to really rethink how we would phase in the project. We put out a big vision, and it takes time for that to be really absorbed and accommodated in the minds of those who we want to seek support. So actually, this, starting next week with this pilot project, is really, in my mind, the start of the project, because it is a opportunity to show the value added of doing this type of training, where it's needed, the type of individual will walk into an employer's doors ready to perform, and a different type of entry-level person that will be walking through the door.
Long story short, it won't be done by this summer.
If I had my way, it would be done.
Still a work in progress.
Yes, but we're going to phase in. We're going to look at an opportunity to do what we call a flex lab component of the project, so that we can begin to provide the necessary space to expand on this particular project. I was just surprised that when we're trying to, because we only accept 20 students per session. Well, the only reason we can accept 20 students per session is that the space available to do it, that's only what allows. And so we will look at a way to phase in. It can't be this summer. That's a bit too much quick of a turnaround for constructing a project, but I would hope in the next year there'll be a visible sign of a training component here.
Greg, you've been a booster, if that's a term, of these programs since day one. your comments on prospects for all this and then the motivation behind it?
Well, Sherman, I think it goes without saying that the community needs to upgrade its ability to train employees for tomorrow. And I don't care if it's for the RV industry or what industry it happens to be for. We have drawn a void in our employment with economic recovery. Okay, with economic recovery, we've drawn a little void, and we've pulled a vacuum of employees where there's a void in employees. So we have to go back and pull from a younger age. Okay, and Ivy Tech is the only entity that has the ability to do that. That's what intrigued me about this to begin with, was that they already have the facility primarily. They have the organizational, they've done it before in other regions of the state where it's been either industry specific or training specific. So it's a matter of taking what they know, input from corporate partners here, and the RV industry is pretty much a prove it to me industry, okay? So when they came out with this grand program, which I think is a wonderful program, now we've gotten it down and we have 3 corporate partners who have said, look, we're going to help you start at the bottom. What a wonderful opportunity. It's a great opportunity, not only for the students, but for the industries involved. So I'm excited about it, Sherm. I'm excited about it in the long term. I think it does nothing but help our community, not just Elkhart County, but the surrounding community. Helps our employers, it helps businesses stay here. So it's a good thing. It's a great time to be involved in the RV industry.
Somehow I knew you'd say that, Greg. Thank you, everybody. I really appreciate you joining us today, and look forward to seeing you down the road.
Thank you
Great.
for the opportunity.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.